Hi buddy, Papa Kenny from Papa Kenny's Workshop. Hey, got a little project here on this ground pounder. We'll call it Thumper. My brother-in-law has an excavating company, and most times than not he'll drop off his small equipment or his big equipment for that matter for Papa Kenny to try to fix or get running. The issue with this will not run. So that's all I know. First thing we're gonna do is we'll check to see if we got spark. Right off the bat, hang on, I already see an issue. The shut-off switch seems to be disconnected, so that's not a good sign. Possibly, right? Could it be that easy? Let me show you. Alright, so if you don't have one of these when you're working a small engine, I highly recommend it to check spark. And all it does, it goes in line with your spark plug. Alright? Alright, so let me get you set up here. If we got spark, sorry about bouncing you all around, you should see red there. Alright, we got spark. See the red? So we got spark. Alright. I know I got fuel. I can see it in the filter right there in the bowl. Let's pull the plug out and see what that looks like. 5/8 socket. Alright, let's take a look at this, see what we got going on. Right away, this plug looks kind of foul to me. I'm not gonna do a physical compression test. I normally would do that because maybe the valves need adjusting in here. I'm not sure, but let's give this thing a pull. Oh boy. See that, folks? Okay, as I was pulling, gas was coming out of the cylinder like Mount Everest. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you've seen it. It's like it's flooded. Alright, so at least we get an idea where to start. I am going to pull the cover off and just check timing to see how close we are. Alright, so it's a 10mm, 4 bolts. Trying to get you guys where you can see. Nothing major, it's only 4 bolts. Okay, so they call this an overhead valve motor, and I'm trying to set you guys up best so you can see. All right, I'm going to get a wire tie, and I'm going to put it in the cylinder and bring this up to top dead center. Stick a wire tie in here, and I'll just pull it over slowly. And that's going up, up. Right about there. We'll go around once. Alright, coming up. Hang on. Can't do this with one hand. Alright, so we're at almost there. Oh, right there. Alright, so we're at top dead center now. Alright, it's hard to see, but there's a hump in here, and you can usually tell you when you get to that hump straight up and down at 12 o'clock that you're there. I don't know what the specs are on this. I don't see anything extraordinary right now, but I think the main issue is going to be in the carburetor. We can come back to this if we're going to run an issue, but I believe the float's stuck and it's just dumping fluid into the cylinder, and it's probably filled. I bet you if I pull the drain plug, it's all gas in the oil. So let's get the carburetor off of this thing and see what she looks like. First of all, just going to set this back up on top. And we'll get the carburetor off. More than likely, knowing these guys, could be anything. This helps kind of brutal at sometimes. Alright, that way there we don't lose any bolts. Just put one or two turns. I'm outside, birds can't shit in it, nothing like that. We know we got sparks, so we can take our little tool off. Alright. Another giveaway that someone's been in here. There should be a clamp on here, and there's no clamp. Alright, so we got a couple Phillips head screwdrivers. A couple Phillips head screws, not drivers, but take these Phillips out. Aha! Another giveaway, no filter. Now this thing runs in the dust all day, dust and dirt, so you can imagine with no filter what it's sucked in there. Alright, so that was a 10mm, a Phillips head and 10mm so far. I believe this one over here is probably 10 also. Yep. So already 3 signals. The switch, the shut-off switch has been tampered with. This carburetor or something's been apart or whatever, not by me. We're missing a filter. And the clamp was missing. So those are all giveaways that this is a problem child. Disconnect the fuel line, make sure it's off. Nope, not even a clamp on the fuel line. Oh boy, what am I getting into? This should just pop right off. Yep. Oh, left something behind here. Alright, so it's just one spring and a linkage, and you just, little plastic tab, you lift out, pop out the linkage, and take off the spring. We're going to take it right off the machine so we don't lose it. That's all it is. A little plastic clip on the governor and a little hole for the spring. Alright. And I just dropped the gasket. I got it. Oh yeah, I can see the gas in there. Just pouring gas. Look at how wet this is. Alright, let's put it on the bench. Break it all down and see if we can see what's wrong with it. Probably because so much crap in here, we'll have to blow it out and clean it. And probably dirt where the needle and seat is, holding the needle out and just letting gas pour right in. But we'll get it on the bench and we'll open it up. Alright, let's start off picking these 4 screws off. Oh boy. Okay, now you try to lift this up without breaking that gasket. There's a little diaphragm under there. Oh yeah. Pretty hard. Now I'll show you what I do is I take a little bit of transmission fluid just to soften this up, make it so I can peel it up without ripping it. Any old fluid will work. Just helps it soften up a little bit. Alright, let me get something to peel this up. I used to like to use one of these little picks and just pry easily. There's a little tab right on here in the corner, on each corner, that you got to get it over. Just kind of work it around nice and easy. This one's not too bad. It's hard as a rock though. Alright, let's take a peek. Yeah, there's quite a bit of crap in there. I know it's hard for you guys to see. Focus, focus. Alright, so I'm going to get some carburetor cleaner. We're going to blow this all out. And I can almost see I gotta get magnifying glasses. Somebody put that in backwards. No, it's in okay. Now, here's your needle and seat. Underneath there's a spring. You gotta be very careful when that thing pops out. It's a very small spring. You don't want to lose it. That keeps a little pressure and rebound. Works with that little plastic I don't know, whatever that stuff's made out of. That diaphragm. We're just going to loosen the screw. Try to pry this out nice and easy. Nope, we'll take it right out, I guess. Okay, take out that little screw. Keep it separate. It's different than the other four. Alright. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's that tiny, tiny spring that goes in there. Put that off to the side. Let's get some carburetor cleaner. Well, let's take this, try and get this gasket off without wrecking it. Alright, I think I'm going to take the back side apart also. One big screw. There's another little gasket beneath that. Oh, that kind of popped up kind of easy. Another spring right here. Make sure you pay attention which way it goes in. Alright, so chubby side up. I don't know how well you can see it. So it goes in like that, chubby side up. Alright, same thing. See if we can peel this little gasket up. Once you get it started and you work around nice and easy, it'll usually come up for you. There's little flaps on here that cover up the passages. Okay. So we're gonna take some carburetor, spray this over. I gotta let the compressor build up. You guys don't want to hear that. So once the air's built up, we'll clean this out. Okay. Take ordinary carburetor cleaner. AutoZone does not sponsor me. Not even close to sponsor. So what I do, everybody's different. I just give it a couple squirts all the way around. Okay. Then I take compressed air. Right? Not 100, not 1,000 psi, nothing. You just look like 3 pounds, if that. You just want to blow everything all out. Yep, I just seen dirt come out. Check all your ports. Alright, we'll do it one more time. And what else I like to do, I got one of these tip cleaners for a torch. I find the smallest little guy in the pack. Right there. Now, it's going to be very hard to see, but there's a screw-like jet. I'm not going to tamper with that right now, but I am going to send the tip cleaner down in there and just Not too much. You don't want to ream it out. Just, if there's anything there, you just want to loosen it up. Let the carburetor cleaner do the work for you. Alright? Back over. Hit all the holes. There's a little cavity on the inside you can blow out. Have to probably... Yep, right beside the choke, a little cavity. Right by that little butterfly. Alright, let's put it back together and see if we can make it run again. Alright, so this little guy, the one with the metering flaps, she's pretty hard, so I'm going to put a little bit, actually I'm going to use WD-40 on this. It just makes it a little bit more pliable. This is what I do. This is not for everybody. I've had luck doing it this way. I'm not a professional at this by any means, so there's my disclaimer. We'll know if she stops. So I just spray a little bit on there, right? Lint-free towel laying down. Okay. As you can see, there's a bunch of crud right there. Just keep working at it, it'll come off. I don't like to use the carburetor cleaner. Sometimes I have to, you know, make it tear. Alright, let's put it back together. Now this thing can only go one way. Alright. See this little, right above the fuel line? There's a little notch out. That's where that little notch on that thing goes. Right there. Okay. And you'll see it's just enough to leave ports open. And there's ports behind it. Now we take the little chubby spring. Right here, the little chubby guy. Skinny on one end, chubby on the other end. We put the chubby end up. There's a little indentation right here. You can see where it goes. Alright, now when you do this cover, you gotta pay attention because there's a little ear on here. That's a stop for the throttle. So, you gotta pay attention to that. Also, you'll see the recess in here where the little chubby spring goes. Oh, clicked right in place. We'll take our big screw. Right? Screw it down. No, not over tight, just snug. Alright, now to this diaphragm thing. There's a little bit of a tip right here. And it kind of works like vacuum, up and down, and it pushes on that little tiny needle that I'm about to show you right now. I'm going to put it in there because I don't want to lose it. But it's a tiny little needle right there. So what I like to do, same thing, a little bit of carburetor cleaner on it. I look at the magnifying glass first of all, make sure it's not mushroomed over. Whoops, sorry guys. She looks pretty good. Alright, now hang on, I'm going to readjust you guys. Okay, there's a little horseshoe on here. That's where that little needle sits in. I'm going to slide it on there. Well, I don't believe I got a good steady hand. It just hangs on there like that. We're going to drop her back in the hole. Right? And now we're going to put the little, I call it the lockdown lever. Kind of like on a watch band. Little tiny thing. That holds pressure down. It hits a certain angle and it kind of pivots on there. So that goes in there. And then you put your screw in. Oh, I forgot the spring. See, you guys didn't remind me. I forgot the spring. Pull it back out. Needle's still in there. It was so small I forgot about it. Alright, we're going to take that little spring. This is the challenging part because you got to kind of get this thing to stand up straight, and I'll show you what it keeps on wanting to do. It keeps wanting to flip over like that. So you just got to take your time and get it. Once you get it to sit in a spot, it usually, yeah, there we go. Nope. Alright, so alright, I got it right there. Standing straight up and down, finally. Alright. We're going to take our little forky thing, right down, push down on the spring and underneath there. There you go. Okay. Now you take your wristband watch thingy, that clip, that it rotates and hold it on, and you put that in. Okay, so slide it in into that slot, and you're going to tighten her up. Just like that. Alright, now we're ready to put the rest of this back together. Okay, once you get that needle, seat and everything back in, you should be able to tap it. It's got a little bit of play in it. Alright. Alright, we're going to take our other gasket. Notice how the two look. This side up. Line up our little ears. Okay, so putting these screws in, you'll be very careful. Try not to do this after you had like 5 cups of coffee today and another one sitting over there. Because if they don't go in, that means the gasket's not lined up. You don't want to force them in. Just take your time. Screw them down in. There we go. And then just bring it down snug. Come across. Down snug. Sometimes you'll see fluid coming out of that hole. That usually means there's a tear in it. Alright, let's go over the back of the unit and put it back on so we can get it running. Put our gasket on. I might have to make this gasket over. Should be alright. Now we put our linkage back on. Okay, while you're putting this little spring on, you're going to be very careful. Try not to stretch it out. Why is it every time on film, everything goes so hard? You know, everything's nice. You stop filming, everything goes to hell. Okay, so there she is. We'll put our locking tab on. We'll put the rest together. It looks like I'm getting a leak out of here, so we're going to have to look into that also. I don't believe that's going to do anything to affect the starting, but we'll look into it. Think it's gonna start? 50-50, right? All right, we'll see if she fires up. Put the plug back in her.